Hello, DOGTV. Joe Myers back with another DOGTV Chats. We're having a lot of fun this week. I want to thank you all for joining us. We've had hundreds of thousands of views, millions of impressions on the show. So thank you so much for commenting, liking this, and sharing this video with a friend or a family member who loves fur babies just as much as we do. This week, we have some incredible guests coming up. We have Dr. Evan Anton. Tomorrow, world's sexiest vet. We'll be talking about vets and COVID and what's going on in his world. And then on Friday, we'll bring you another concert, also a giveaway, National Pet ID Week. So we have a giveaway coming up on Friday. So make sure to tune in for a concert and a giveaway. A lot of fun. But without any further ado, I'd like to welcome my guest today, Bobbie Lyons. She is a certified canine fitness coach. Welcome, Bobbie.
Hi.
Hello,
Great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So you have over 15 years of experience. Your classes are worldwide. Your curriculum is taught at universities. What got you into canine fitness?
Well, I had a dog about 16, 17 years ago that actually wasn't using his body very good in agility. And so he wasn't extending his legs fully over a jump. And so I kind of went down this path to try to make him be able to perform better and to not be injured in the process. And along the way, I kind of realized that dogs don't really know where their body is in space. So we need to kind of teach them so that they don't get injured. A large percentage of my clientele are performance dogs, so dogs that are doing agility and flyball and protection sports and trick training, freestyle, things like that. But I also work with a lot of the general population with pet dogs to keep their dogs safe and injury-free in their normal life. So maybe they do a lot of ball throwing, or maybe they do a lot of hiking. They're an active household. They want to make sure that they don't end up having large vet bills to fix their dogs. A lot of pet dogs get injured just throwing a ball in the backyard.
Wow, yeah, it's something you don't really think about with your dog. You think they're sort of just built to move, but with their maybe sedentary lifestyle inside, and then they go outside. So today we're going to walk through a sort of a workout with your dog program. So please feel free, stay around. We're going to work out with the dog, go through a full thing. If you have any questions for Bobbie about canine fitness, about her classes, about working out with your dog, or about some of her specialty stuff she does, please feel free, add them in the comments, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. Before we get started, are there any things that you want to tell the audience before we get started with this kind of workout with your dog?
I think one of the big things is just making sure that they warm up their dogs before they're doing anything super active. And I'll demonstrate here in just a second, just kind of a basic warm up that you can do to make sure that their muscles are ready for the activities that you're going to do. So whether that is hiking off leash or you're throwing a ball, you do want to make sure that their body's ready for that activity. Just like we wouldn't, hopefully, we wouldn't like jump off the couch and go run 10 miles. We want to make sure that our bodies are also ready for those activities. I can't tell you how many performance people I know actually have injured themselves because they're not warming up their own body before they go do their dog stuff.
That's funny. That's why I have the headband on. So let's get to the stage. The stage will be perfect. We'll have you flip that camera around. So please feel free, ask some questions. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to walk through an entire workout from the warm up to an obstacle course and even a couple of exercises. And then the most important part, having fun with your dog. So if you have any questions, comments, stuff that you've done in the past or tricks, add them in the comments. We'll try to get to them. And so this is the positive performance sort of area, and Bobbie will be coming on the screen here in a little bit. Here she comes. Awesome, Bobbie. So stage is yours. We're going to start with the warm-up.
All right. So this is Drama. He's a 6-year-old border collie. And this is Flurry. She's only 9 months. I'm going to try to get her to stay over here. Drama. All right, Flurry, come. Flurry. Sit. Okay. So to warm up, to just move through kind of all planes of motion. So I'm going to ask him, he's going to on the equipment, but I'm going to ask him to back up, and I'm going to ask him to turn left and right, down and stand, so that he is flexing and extending his joints. He's bending his spine. So like if you're throwing a ball in the backyard, the dog is driving hard and grabbing that ball and turning around, and they're really impacting their shoulders and their neck. So it's really important that, that their spine is really good and warm before you do those activities. And so it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Like if your dog doesn't know how to spin, you can just, lure them with a piece of food or, their breakfast. I often use breakfast to train. But you definitely want to make sure that you get them moving. Don't just take them off of the couch and run right out and throw a ball, because that's when their shoulders get injured.
Perfect. The perfect time to warm up with your dog while you're warming up your dog. Get your shoulders ready, get active. I think that's the new school of thought in workout, is not the static stretch, it's movement. And same with the dog. Dogs are not going to stretch for you. Well, they might, but.
No, I mean, they do. Sometimes they do. Like a lot of dogs will bow in the morning when they come out of their crate.
Yep.
And that's a great time. You can kind of add a cue to that, and you can get them to do that on cue. It's a great parlor trick.
I love that. My dog bows as well. I'm gonna get that. I'm doing that one.
Yeah. So all you have to do is reward it. Just, and then add a word to it, and then your dog will do it on cue. So stand, back. Good. All right. I'm just gonna make sure we're not doing that. Right. Yeah, he was trying to back up through my leg.
So good.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of my star demo dog. So he is, being this close to all of the equipment, he wants to get on it really fast. So I am going to kind of put him where Flurry is, and I'm going to let Flurry do the obstacle course. So a lot of the things that you see here are FitPaws products. They can be purchased at cleanrun.com, at Chewy's. If you go on their site, there's actually a list of dealers. You can contact me. I can send it to you as well. But we're also using climbs, which are the tables that you see here, these pink ones, that are from Blue Nine. But I use them a lot in obstacle courses to give the dog another surface, to give them a stable place to hang out, and let their muscles relax a little bit. So I'm in a stay. Come here, Draw. Can you down? Stay. Good boy. Just on obstacle course. I'm just kind of come all the way. All the way. Good.
So you could set this obstacle course up like anywhere, right? Outside, in your home, in your basement.
Yeah, it can be oops, lie down. It can be things like, I have aerobic benches here. Lots of people have those in their closet from the 90s, from step aerobics. You have, I use air mattresses a lot. People, you have, like camping air mattresses, because they have some instability for the dog to be able to feel a different surface and really push into it. See that I have everything here. Peanut is in a climb upside down, and I have a yoga strap around it so that it won't move too much for her. And she can find her position, and she can do things like down, stand. Good. Can you left? Super.
Wow.
Can you right? Good girl. Okay. Nice job. That was very good. Okay.
So you're sort of treating along the way as well. Like as soon as they do something, positive behavior, treat that. And then that's why you do their breakfast or lunch or dinner.
So like I have a kibble in my pocket, and I'm just going to reward them positively for doing whatever I ask them to do. So I think one of the things that happens, especially with people who don't do a lot of training, is they don't realize that when we ask the dog to do anything, They need to be paid, just like we like to get paid when we go to work. We want the dog to also get paid for the job that we're asking them to do. So they don't just, sit and look up at us adoringly, forever because they love to sit. They do it because we reward it. So we want to make sure that they're being rewarded. And this stuff often can be, with fitness, it can often be challenging. It can be a hard exercise. So definitely we want to reward those efforts.
Perfect. Awesome. So we've gone over warming up, sort of simple, basic movements, get the joints loose so we don't have any long-term or short-term issues.
Sure.
We just went over the obstacle course. So let's talk about some of these exercises on like working out with the dog, on things that you would do potentially with a show dog or with a dog that's very active.
Okay, so potentially with, I don't have cavaletti set up, but cavalettis is a really them trot over the top of them. That they can do is show just kind of a basic exercise that you can do with any kind of incline ramp, like a board with a yoga mat over the top of it. You could use the aerobic bench. I have under end. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a little bit, and it puts more. So when I ask him to down, he's shifting his weight to the rear and strengthening his rear. Down. Good. Down. Good. And now I'm going to ask him to turn to left. Now I'm bending his spine, and he's also having to keep his feet on the board. And so that is improving his awareness of his feet and how to use his feet. Good. Good. Now I'm going to have him back up to that disc. Back. Good. And this is just a rock and a pop forward. This is, again, strengthening the rear and the lower abdominal muscles to get that pop forward. Good. Good. So pivoting on and off things teaches him to engage the inside muscles of his back legs. And so when he's turning, for instance, and say he's on slippery grass, he has the strength to pull that leg underneath him versus just letting it kind of move away, slide away. And that's where those injuries occur. So that can happen in the front limbs or the rear limbs.
You mentioned something. You mentioned something before that most dogs don't realize that they have sort of back legs. You said it more eloquently, but talk about that. That was very interesting to me.
Yeah, they really just sort of, back legs just fly behind them like a kite. They don't really know how to put weight in their rear legs efficiently unless they're taught. So it is really interesting. If you start dogs at a young age being on lots of different surfaces, like all of the surfaces that you see here, could be sand and dirt and turf and grass and, maybe it's a wet surface. But getting them exposed to all of those surfaces helps the dog really develop that neuromuscular pathway to handle all of those surfaces. But here's the thing. If they're handling all of those surfaces leaning forward on their front, then they're not learning how to do it with their rear end. So we really have to teach them, especially when we want them to go fast. If they're running, if they're off leash, we want them to be 4-paw drive and use their back feet reaching towards the ground versus just sort of fly behind.
It was a very, very interesting, and I think a lot of people might not have known that. Awesome. So we sort of were on the ramp. Is there an element or a way to include some of like, we all have limited time. Is there a way to include some of like human workout while you're working out with your dog?
Absolutely. I honestly use all of this stuff for my own workouts. So I will do an exercise with my dogs, and then I might do push-ups or plank position with feet on one of the canine fit bones. I'm actually going to grab a large fit bone so that you guys can see the weight distribution and how you can change it. grab it really quick.
Awesome. I know I'm excited to work out with my dog. If you're watching right now on Facebook, you have any questions for Bobbie, maybe about your dog, maybe about starting a workout, or maybe more information about the 4-paw drive, please add them in the comments. And then also add if you're interested in more of these classes, virtual fitness classes with your dog. We'd love to bring them to you here at DOGTV.
So you can kind of see, I think you can see the bone. You can see that he has more weight forward. Just very naturally, they carry 60% of their weight forward because heaviest parts of their body are in the front. So the heaviest parts of a dog's body is their chest and their head. So if I don't do anything, he's going to be like, I don't really need those back legs. I'll just lean forward. So if I come in here and I say, no, we want to actually use those back legs, and I bring his head up, I can get him to use his rear end by just changing the reward position and his head position.
I imagine it's mind-blowing for a dog the first time he kind of realizes that he has those.
Yeah, it is really. Oftentimes they, when you shift them back the first time, they're just like, whoa, I don't know how to use those muscles. Those muscles have just been, sitting aside for a while. So it does take them a little bit of time to kind of figure out how to actively fire those muscles. If anybody has gone to like a Pilates class or done a personal trainer at the gym, oftentimes they will tell you, hey, engage this muscle right here.
Yeah.
And so you sit there and you think, okay, how do I do that? And with a dog, I can't do that, right? I can't be like, engage this muscle right here. I have to put them in positions and move their head and move their body in a way to get them to connect with that muscle, so that they can use it in their normal life. But I can't do it like a regular gym instructor. I can't just, be like, okay, this one right here. I want you to tighten this muscle right here. And dogs would look at you like, no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, what an interesting challenge to not be able to talk to the person in the workout class.
Right. You really, really have to figure out how to get them to do it. And it's not the same for every dog, right? So sometimes structure dictates different things. Like if the dog's angulation is different or whatever, you might have to change that position to get the dog to engage those muscles. Okay, pretty.
Very, very cool. Where would so once we have the exercises, how long do you recommend a workout with your dog should last typically? And obviously that depends on the dog's occupation or what they're doing. But what would be the recommended workout time
frame?
Yeah.
So it really does depend on the dog's fitness level. So just like it is for us, but in general, it's 10 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So 30 minutes sometimes for dogs is really, really a long time. Like Flurry, she's only 9 months old. So she wouldn't actually do an organized workout at this point because her growth plates aren't closed. She's still a puppy. Drama is a seasoned fitness dog. He can do a workout for 30 to 40 minutes, no problem. But he's also been conditioned to the training and the equipment. He already knows all the different surfaces. It's just a matter of doing the repetition. Flurry is still learning all of the movements, and she's pretty good on all of the equipment, as you guys saw when she walked across the obstacle course. But she also, her joints and muscles are still growing, so we want to make sure that we're not asking too much of them at a young age. But exposure is good.
That's a really good question. At what age should they start a workout routine? Is it sort of breed dependent, or is it sort of growth plate?
We kind of use that barometer of growth plate closure just because then the muscles and joints are mature. So for most dogs, that's around a year. Unless it's a giant breed dog, it could be closer to 2 years.
Correct.
If it's a tiny dog, it could be closer to 8 months. But generally, we want their joints and muscles to be 100% developed before we start asking things like balancing on this bone. Drama makes everything look really, really easy because he's been doing this his whole life. But like I'll put, Drama, come here. Come here. Can you hop it up? Sit, stay. I'll put Flurry on the bone, and you'll see probably harder for her than it was for him. So you can see her wobble. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. Stand. Down. Stand. Good. But did you see how when she stood, she brought all of her weight forward and her rear leg came forward?
Yep.
That's her going, let me just, because I'm on something unstable, so I'm not really sure how to use my rear legs.
I love it. Awesome. And then at the end, as always, we should do a cool down. What's your recommendation for that?
Usually I tell people just do whatever they did for their warm-up in reverse.
Oh, perfect.
And just the dog moving. So if you just went out and walked around the yard for 10 minutes to warm up your dog, then just walk around the yard for 10 minutes to cool them down. You just don't want to put them in a downstay and just because they'll get sore.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if we went for a hike and we got in a car and had to drive an hour back home, we'd be sore when we got out of the car. We definitely don't. You don't need to be on to get sore, because then they won't want to do anything active because they're like, nah,
I'm good.
That was comfortable last time. I'm good.
Awesome. So you got to take care of them.
Huh?
You got to take care of them both during the workout and then post-workout.
Sure. And I think a lot of people also wonder, you guys have all seen me giving a lot of treats. And so again, you can just use their breakfast and their meals. So lots of dogs need to be involved in fitness or more activities to lose weight. And we definitely don't want to be feeding them a ton of food during their workout if the goal is weight loss. So I usually tell people just put their entire food for the day in a bowl. And when you do your fitness and you do whatever, if that food is gone, then that was their meal for the day.
I love it. Perfect.
Well, and that way you're not getting more and more and more food.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way of taking care of them. Sort of transitioning into our next topic, which is dog mom. What does it mean to be a dog mom? And do you have a recommended dog mom of the year that you'd like to nominate right now?
So I think a good dog mom is one that pays attention to all of the dog's needs as far as, do they need to go to the vet? Do they have allergies? What kind of food do they need to be fed? But also a mom that likes to spend time with her dog and likes to train. Dogs really, really love that training environment. So yes, I think I would nominate Danielle Hall. She is in Southern California, and she has two wonderful dogs. One that is older, and so she is, dealing with a lot of, we'll say, extenuating things that happen with older dogs. And then she has a younger dog that is a very, very high energy dog. So she spends a lot of time training. So much of her time is spent with her dogs in one capacity or another.
Excellent. That's a really good recommendation. We'll make sure we get her nominated. Final thoughts for people in this. Maybe they've never formally worked out with their dog. They take them for walks or they play ball, but there's nothing formal there. What would be your sort of final tips and tricks for somebody sort of stepping in to canine fitness that you did 18 years ago?
I think one of the things is just the first step always is to get a fun piece of equipment to play with your dog and get them acclimated to put their feet on it. And then usually what happens is people contact a certified canine fitness instructor from like the University of Tennessee program or somebody like me to tell them how to use it better. Just like if you had never worked out at the gym before, you might hire a personal trainer at least for a few sessions until you get the hang of it. And then, and it works the same way as dogs, because we don't want to injure them by doing something silly, but there's plenty of people out there that have the equipment and they set up little obstacle courses with pillows off their couch and maybe a fit bone and a disc or, something. And just have fun with their dog. And it's not necessarily organized fitness like reps and sets and a real workout, but it still is benefiting them because they are getting that proprioceptive benefit. So they're getting that benefit of knowing where their feet are so that they can shift weight in different ways. And that's what helps them stay injury-free when they're, on different surfaces. And it's like, say they're going to the beach and they're managing that surface, and that's a surface that they see once a month. Being on different surfaces, just walking on them, doing down stands and sit stands, and just moving around in circles, all of those types of fairly easy movements can be done on all of these different surfaces.
I love it. Sort of get started, be safe by going to a professional, get the equipment, and then most importantly, have fun. It seems like it's a really cool bonding moment where you guys can work on things and be better and be more active, both of you, work out together and have a more fulfilling life. Well, Bobbie, thank you so much for joining us on DOGTV Chats. Where can people find out more information about you, about Positive Performance, to get more information?
They can go to positive-performance.com, and positive is spelled P-A-W, not P-O-S. And I also have an online environment that has online classes, all the way from foundation classes to targeting classes to sports specific classes. We have lots of classes that can get you started on Bobbie Lyons Canine Campus.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bobbie. Thank you, audience, for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with Dr. Evan Anton, Nation's Sexiest Vet. And then on Friday with a musical performance and then a giveaway for National Pet ID Week. So join us back here tomorrow, Friday, and then the next week as well. We have some amazing guests coming up. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Bobbie. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you here tomorrow on DOGTV.